Hey, everybody. Well, we are just a day and a half before the NFL draft, and the Raiders pick Fernando Mendoza as their quarterback of the future to start the 2026 NFL draft. But that's not what this is about exactly. It's about legacy, it's about history, it's about legends, and unfortunately, it's about disrespect and also loss. And so here is the story, and rest in peace, Rod Martin. That's the back end of this story. But here we go. Right now, it's a sad story behind a sadder one, as I said, and I wrote this down so I could get the story straight for you. A longtime friend, an Oakland Raiders booster, called me about a day ago to complain about how the Oakland Coliseum, once the home of the Raiders, folks, as you know, was asking a Raiders nonprofit firm, okay, was asking a Raiders nonprofit firm, all right, um, called Silver and Black Productions to pay a whopping $2,000 just to have access to what was once Mark Davis and his father, Al Davis, legendary Suite 42 at the Coliseum. Why? So Silver and Black Productions could make a segment for a Raiders organizational history film, something that they had been working on for 8 years. You would think the Oakland Coliseum managers would have no problem letting the former tenants, the legendary former tenants at that, use the hallowed suite for free, right? I mean, Mark Davis is fond of saying that the Raiders' DNA is in Oakland. I have him on video saying that. Well, looks like someone at the Oakland Coliseum forgot that. Check out these emails with names removed to protect identities. It starts with this: Hello, all. I'm with Silver and Black Productions in the Raiders Historical Content Department. We are seeking to do an on camera interview with Raiders legendary fan, my friend actually, in Al Davis' former suite at the Coliseum. The interview would cover Raiders legendary fan's memories of Raiders games and players in Oakland through the years. This is part, this person writes, of a Raiders legacy project we have been building for 8 years. It goes on to read like this: We travel light with a small crew of 3, myself, a camera operator, and an audio technician. Equipment is minimal: a camera and tripod, a portable audio mixer, and a small light kit that we will set up ourselves. We may need a few folding chairs for myself and the crew to sit on during the interview. Setup time 45 to 60 minutes, it reads here, and interview time 60 to 90 minutes, and then wrap out another 45 minutes. We can be somewhat flexible, this person writes, on the time of day, but morning or midday would be preferred. Would either May 1st or May 4th work with you? If not, feel free to suggest some other dates and let me know if you have any other questions. Thank you so much, Silver and Black Productions. And now it seems harmless, right? And something that would, promote Oakland and the Coliseum positively, right? The Oakland Coliseum folks would just say, come on down, come on over. But, well, they didn't exactly say that. Here's the Coliseum response. You can't make this stuff up, folks, all right? Hello, Silver and Black Productions. Thank you for sending over some additional details, because there are emails that happened before this. We have availability on both May 1st and May 4th, and would be happy to have you here. I do want to share with you that the owner's suite was restored back to neutral after the Raiders' departure. I believe the walls are still gray, but there are no Raider logos. Of course, it has a fabulous view of the field, which is now a soccer pitch. I can go take a few photos for you on Monday. Filming rates are $2,000 per hour, and we will need to staff one tech support person to fulfill our union agreement. All right. That's where it leaves, and it goes best Coliseum management, name withheld. Now, before you go and blame the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority, which actually just met last week, or Executive Director Henry Gardner, or the union, hold on. None of them are aware of this situation. None of them are officially aware of this situation, okay? And of the person that might be aware, that's assumptive on my part, because it would be by an association that, as I think about it, means this person would not know as much as they might know. So they have no idea what's going on. All right. None of them saw the request, because the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority normally doesn't deal with day-to-day matters like this. That's what this is considered to be. Okay. That's for the management. All right. And AASCG. So, no, not AASCG. What am I saying? AEG. AASCG is, of course, the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, which has nothing to do with this matter directly at this point in time. But it's coming close to where, that's going to change. But that's another story for right now, right? Okay. And we can't forget the Oakland Acquisition Company. But I digress. All right. Now, again, none of them saw this request. But this is one time the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority is going to have to see it. That the Oakland Coliseum managers either forgot or have no respect for Raiders' legacy is nothing short of awful. How is Oakland expected to land an NFL expansion team if it doesn't even respect its own sports history, right? This is one more reason why Oakland needs a sports commission. I've been yelling about this for some years now, and I'm the only person in Oakland's history to actually have started a sports commission, and we used it to form our bid to bring the 2005 Super Bowl to Oakland. Unfortunately, we lost to Jacksonville on the third ballot at the fall 2000 NFL owners meeting in Atlanta. But I digress, okay? Again, at a time when sports tourism is a big industry, huge, the Oakland Coliseum should be working to take advantage of its giant role in American sports history, American culture. Instead, it's like the Coliseum could care less. Pay us $2,000, and not even with please. Okay? And all that as Raider linebacker Rob Martin passes. And this happened the same week that Raider linebacker, actually pretty much I think about the same day, that Raider linebacker Rob Martin passed away at 72 years of age. Sadly, Rob Martin's decline was due to unspecified reasons over the last 4 years. What everyone remembers about Rod is the 3 interceptions that he made of Eagles quarterback Ron Jaworski's passes in Super Bowl 15. Rod should have been the Super Bowl MVP, but he is the unofficial Super Bowl MVP in the hearts of Raider Nation. Stay tuned. And I have to make a comment about what I just explained to you. Oakland forgets its legacy, and it chooses to remember, some do, only, the parts where the PSLs went wrong and budgeting problems occurred. But what Oakland forgets, but I say is a reminder every time I look at Google Trends, is the fact that Oakland lost the Raiders, the A's, and the Warriors, which were automatic marketing vehicles for the city of Oakland. People would visit Oakland just to go to one game at the Coliseum to see any of the great players, or stand near where the holy where the sea of hands catch occurred, or just be or bask in the black hole and understand what it might feel like when a game is actually going on. All of that is part of our history. And would you believe, at a time when you have NFL on location, there's no on location for legacy places like the Coliseum? That's absolutely insane. And yet there are people who would visit Oakland and the Coliseum just to be a part of that history, because the Coliseum is still standing, it's still in use, and you can travel to it. So Oakland's got to get its act together here. We don't seem to value what we have, and we certainly don't value our history when it has to do with the Raiders, the A's, the Warriors. I can point out every single error our Oakland government has made in each of those cases. All right? Each one. But my point is, we have to stop making mistakes. Here's another mistake right before us, and really value what we have and get our act together. That $2,000 is nothing for us to eat. There's plenty of money in the budget to deal with that and handle that on behalf of the Raiders and Mark Davis, and curry favor with them to establish a positive relationship with the National Football League through the Raiders, and thereby for the future, a great future. But now it's kind of like, oh no, another headache, really? And this is not the first time this has happened from the staff. The staff effectively does not understand Coliseum and Raiders history. And that's why we need a sports commission to really review how these decisions are made early on, particularly if they have to do with a legacy sports team, before any final decision is made, unlike this situation. This is absolutely terrible. Absolutely bad. It's not something that should happen. You have cities like that have once had teams. Even St. Louis has love for the Rams, even though the Rams left the way that they did, and have placed themselves in line to get an NFL team because they were smart enough to file a lawsuit on a breach of contract basis, rather than that complicated antitrust argument that failed Oakland not once, but twice. All right? And so there's every reason now, as big as sports is around the world, for Oakland to want to be back in the game at a high level, not at a minor league level. Oakland is a major league city. It has to stop thinking of itself as minor league. It's costing Oakland a lot of money, a lot of lost money in revenues, a lot of money in decline. Do you realize that Oakland Airport has lost 30% of its passenger volume between 2022 and 2025? Think about that, 30 whopping percent. That's because there's no demand to come to Oakland anymore for anything. Even if Visit Oakland says, hey, come and visit our restaurant, they name a restaurant, there's a 50% chance the restaurant might be closed. All right? So we've got to get our act together and stop all this tomfoolery and really get serious about maintaining our economic development past, our sports past in particular, and building toward a positive future. All right. Hey, join us, by the way, for our NFL draft party, 7 o'clock online here at Zenny62 on YouTube, 7 o'clock Eastern time, which would be 4 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, this coming Thursday, draft day. All right? See you all later. And remember, once a Raider, always a Raider. And Ron Martin, great guy, had the pleasure of meeting at Raiders training camp back in 2016. All right. See you all later.